What's the dumbest smallest thing you've ever traded SZOL favors to obtain? When I worked the late shift at fast food, there was a manager I always flirted with. She came through on a night off to order something in the drive-thru. At the back window she asked me to put an extra fry in the bag, so being the clever, flirty wordsmith I am, I asked what's in it for me. She flashed me. Not me. One of my interns. College student. Had a girl he hooked up with before but didn't dig because the hookup wasn't good. He goes home for a visit and when he gets back to his college apartment he realized he forgot his charger. Girl texts him. Says she wants him to come over. His phone is on 2% so he goes so he can use her charger. Literally traded SX for a charged phone. He hasn't lived it down yet. Had a small party at my college dorm, which had a private bathroom, and because I was providing the food and alcohol I had a small cover charge, $2. I joked to my GF that she had other ways she could pay me and she said okay sure, so we went to the bathroom and she went down on me. The hottest thing she said in there was I'll still pay you the $2. Traded SX for an uninterrupted night of sleep. Met my wife when she was a poor college student. Once in Sears. She saw 2 blouses she liked but put them back down after seeing the price tags. Told her I'd buy them if she wore one for the rest of the day without a bra. She agreed with a big smile. My ex-wife and I gained a few pounds. So we started dieting. She broke down and offered me a blowjob if we could just have a burger for dinner. We had Red Robin that night. I've ate out my girlfriend to get her to wear a particularly saucy dress for date night. I just like her in that dress. My ex hated doing laundry at the one building we lived in because the laundry room was so far away from our apartment. Anyway, she traded SZOL favors in exchange for me being in charge of doing the laundry. It was a good deal. Now however, I'm sadly a single dad doing laundry for no favors and I'm finding it really difficult going back to non-SZOL favor laundry. Cuddles all night. I hate sleeping alone. My wife has definitely traded blowjobs for me buying her Magic the Gathering cards. Traded SZOL favors for SZOL favors in return once. Ended up with blue balls. My ex once blew me to get me to stop talking about philosophy. I wanted a glass of water. Didn't want to walk to the kitchen. Fiance was very happy with that one. Coffee shop drinks or candy. When I was in college my parents were 2 hours away. Even so, my mom thought I was way too fat and needed to basically be starved out. Because they paid for my college. My parents were on my bank account and could see all transactions. Mum would go over them and scream at me if she saw any from coffee places or gas stations. No car, so the only reason to go was snacks. Or if I took out cash to buy some. I lived in the dorm next door to this nice lesbian. We would spend time together because we both disliked our roommates. One thing led to another. I told her I was questioning my sexuality. She asks if I want to try. Then buys me breakfast at the campus coffee shop the next day. I thanked her profusely and said it was very hard for me to get stuff like this. From then on, anytime she wanted to do something, she would knock on the wall between our rooms 3 times. Or if we ran into each other, ask me if I would like a latte. I was tired, so I promised my boyfriend SX in exchange for him washing the dishes. I once played Monopoly with a bunch of friends. 2 of them were a couple and every so often they would nip into the next room and come back a few minutes later looking slightly ruffled. One would then give the other Monopoly money, a property, and after one long break, 2 train stations and Park Lane. I traded ejaculation for temporary happiness. Edit. My wife and I were arguing over what food to order. I wanted teriyaki and she wanted pizza. We went down on each other and whoever came first lost. Joke's on her. I got pizza and she got half a pint of throat yogurt. Plus pizza. My ex once had SX with me, so I would go buy us chips. My friend once breathed down a microphone over Skype. while the guy on the other end jerked off. For RuneScape money. Traded my ex an hour of PSSY eating for the last pizza slice. Key term was I had to eat her for an hour before that slice was mine. Worst trade deal ever as I weren't even hungry after. The area under my chin was sore as FCK. I could not sit through an hour of PSSY eating. A place to live. After I moved out. A place for my bird to stay till I got a place that accepted birds. Cole passed away in her care. Though. Showed my tits for a pint of vodka. I was 16 and the guy was 26 and extremely overweight. Sometimes I feel bad. Sometimes I wonder how lonely you have to be to FCK with minors. Traded SX with this girl from the bar for cigarettes and beer. Wasn't a terrible trade-off, but now that's what she does when she notices my pack getting low or if I'm drinking water. A baby. I did want it. I'm just pregnant, sober and slightly bitter about it now. Traded SX for an uninterrupted marathon of Naruto. Ex-girlfriend offered a BJ for the remote control to the TV so she could watch a show. I didn't care but said sure, but you gotta suck me for the entire length of the show. Meant as a joke. But she proceeded to as we watched. Actively during the commercials. Just sorta laying her head on my stomach and gently while the show played. I thought it was great but told her after it was all over I could care less about TV. In high school. I gave a guy a blowjob in exchange for the fuzzy dice he had hanging in his car. I'm disappointed that none of the top answers say they traded SX for Outback Steakhouse coupons. I bumped into my ex and she offered to buy me a new phone if I'd sleep with her one more time. Just what sort of a man does she think I am? Sent from my iPhone 11. I offered my husband a blowjob once if he'd change our kid's next diaper. My BF and I used to do head rub head. I gave him head while he massaged my head. I think we both agreed it was a fair trade, lol. I had SX with my ex because I was worried he would break up with me if I didn't. He was 26. And I was 18. I was going through a lot and simply not ready. But he said he'd leave me and go find someone else. My self-esteem was shitty and I didn't have any friends besides him. So I slept with him and still regret it. I didn't realize how much of an asshole he was until after we broke up. I tried, but 3 seconds of heaven doesn't buy much. My fiance registered sign and I have stupid bets. Whoever wins gets oral SX. Can be anything from how much will the shopping will be to who that actor is in the film we are watching. I ate PSSY to get out of doing the dishes. I suck dick for slice of pizza. It is not gay if you are hungry. I FK'd a girl in my class because she wanted to trade a Nintendo Switch with Link's Awakening for her virginity. Best deal ever. Not me. But had an underage friend once who, against our advice, had sex with a guy in her car for a bottle of vodka to bring to my birthday party. After he made her pay for half of it. She brought it back to the party but left early annoyed because not one person other than her drank any of it. I was on the other side of this. 2 women came into the grocery store I worked in sometime before 3 AM. One was sober. The other not so much. After buying some beer, the sober one asks if she flashed me would I give her some Marlboro Lights. Before I can even agree out the pop. I take a second to enjoy before tipsy girl leans down and licks sober girl's nipple. Needless to say, I bought a pack of cigarettes. And they got their smokes. A pack of Marlboro Lights was priced $3.27 after tax, around 00 to 02. I traded SX with my BF to have 100% uninterrupted snuggling time. No video games or phones. What the hell, I'm the dude and she's normally the one on her phone. I taught a friend how to squirt in exchange for a Big Mac. I was not hungry. Nor out of money. I just wanted to taste a Big Mac to see if it was worth it. Without actually having to pay for it. Sometimes the only reason I suck dick is because it unclogs my sinuses. A lifetime of financial security. Traded Skittles for a BJSX. It was the anniversary of my dad passing away. I started crying to my ex when I started talking about it to her. She admitted she did not know how to deal with the situation and just offered SX. That was the day I realized SX is not the cure for everything. I took it up the ass in hopes that he would be my boyfriend. Or at least a FWB. But it turned it to neither. I got SX before from a girl to remind me of the positions. Thanks. Box tops. Chipotle burrito. No regrets. A Domino's pizza. My ex was extremely pushy, so I didn't do special things in bed. Went all out with my exceptional mouth skills for that pizza. Regretted it. So you've been holding back. I expect this from now on. Then I broke up with her. I wish my ugly ass could trade SZUL favors for something. Serotonin. My girlfriend at the time was still a virgin. And she joked about selling her virginity to me for a bunch of White Castle. So I bought a bunch of them and brought them over to her house. She was amused by it. Told me no, but we ended up doing the deed a few days later. So she pretty much sold her virginity to me for the price of a bunch of White Castle. I banged the big girl so my friend could score with her roommate. Breast milk. Wife offered SI time if I drove her to the mall. A kiss for a thump. Wait, you guys are having a sex? My wife gave me a beach for getting the newborn to sleep. But once he was asleep I didn't want to wake him by putting him down. When he's 18,